Yo, welcome back everybody to a brand new series here on the Shuffle Squad. The Shuffle Squad podcast featuring me, Littledarkfury, and
Linty.
Yep, we are going to be the new hosts of the Shuffle Pod, and we're very excited. We're hoping for some really cool episodes to come out of this, and hopefully we can get a lot of other people on and a lot of cool guests. And I've always wanted to do a podcast, so I'm pretty excited to have a podcast finally, and I'm excited to have Lindsay as my co-host.
I'm excited to be here. This is going to be pretty fun. We have a lot of really funny little segments that I think are going to really help us make people laugh, to say the least.
Yeah. We wanted to make sure that we were doing this like differently. We took inspiration from people. We wanted to make sure we separate ourselves from other, PCGO podcasts. But I think we did a good job kind of diversifying ourselves. And I'm super excited. We got some really cool segments in today's pod and every episode. I'm excited. And I guess in the first episode here, kind of introducing things. So really, we wanted to kind of talk about a lot of stuff in this podcast. There's obviously a lot of news within the Pokemon community, whether it be like new set releases, news coming out of like a big tournament. Sometimes like there's a lot to talk about before a major tournament. Obviously, before Worlds, we're going to be doing a podcast talking about Worlds. Maybe we'll have a guest on to help us talk about it and kind of get an insight into the metagame for the World Championships. Of course, we're going to have guests on that'll be its own episode. And I think we're going to have a good time. And I'm excited.
I'm really excited too. And speaking of these crazy new fun segments we have, we're going to have a little game show like game going on every single week for the podcast where we are going to guess hit or no hit. What do you think?
I'm going to say hit.
I'm going to say hit. Like, there's no way our first episode is not going to be a hit.
Mm-hmm. That's
no
what
way.
I'm saying. Exactly. I think the first episode has to be a hit. It's got to be. It's good luck charm. Exactly. It's going to be a hit for sure.
So you will find out exactly what we're talking about at the end for one of our segments. One of our new Shuffle Squad members is going to be coming on and doing a fun little segment called Hit or No Hit. So we think that this week will be a hit.
I agree with you on that one. Well, so I think we wanted to kind of start off the podcast by kind of giving like life updates or like kind of just like a recap of what me and Lindsay got up to in the past week. I think that's a great way to kind of introduce things. Since our first episode, we're going to start things off here with a bit of a life introduction or a week recap, whatever you want to call it. So I'll pass the baton over to you, Lindsay. How was your week?
My week, it's already Wednesday. My week has been long. Tomorrow is my Friday, so I'm really excited. For those of you who don't know, I am a registered nurse. I work in oncology and infusions, so I do like chemotherapy infusions and basically all other types of medications like that at an outpatient infusion center, and I really love it. It's an amazing job. It's so rewarding. It's one of those things where it's like I know I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm doing like what I'm supposed to be doing, and however, it doesn't leave as much time for Pokemon. So that's my only thing right now is I'm trying to juggle all this life stuff with Pokemon. I really want to start taking Pokemon more seriously, maybe doing a little bit of the full-time Pokemon coming up for the next season. So that's kind of where I'm at. But this week has been pretty short so far. I just said it was long earlier. Make up your mind. I heard. That's how I'm feeling, yes.
Yeah. I saw on Twitter, actually, that you are going to be taking part-time Pokemon and like part-time nursing next season, right?
That's going to be the plan as of now. I'm going to see if I can start transitioning into like the part-time / like work as needed at my job, since it's much easier to do that as a nurse. There's way more of those part-time PRN positions. But I do want to take Pokemon, the card game, more seriously. I really want to qualify for Worlds next year. So that's something that I'm most likely going to be doing, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's exciting for sure. I'm also going to be taking next season very seriously, I think. Not maybe to the point where I'm like, if I don't get my Worlds invite, it's not a big deal. Obviously, I'm a content creator first and a pro player second, if you even want to call me that. But I definitely want to go to more tournaments. I mean, NEIC was like my first major, huge tournament, and it was such a good experience. It was so sick hanging out with all my friends and people that I know in, Canada, and then people that I met online, just all in like one room together, meeting everyone, interacting with everyone. It was honestly a sick experience. And I really want to kind of have that be kind of the norm now going forward. But yeah, as a full-time content creator, I think that is something that I can also strive to do, is kind of transition into IRL more frequently next season.
Yeah, it was really, really cool to meet everybody at NAIC, and yourself included. So how was your week?
Thanks. My week was actually pretty interesting. So it was actually my birthday this past weekend on Friday.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I turned 24. 24. I'm getting up there in age. It's kind of crazy. Like, I feel like I entered the pandemic. I entered the pandemic at what, like, I think I was 21 years old going into the pandemic. I was like still in college, and then next thing you know, like, flash forward, I'm now 3 years old. I'm already 24 years old. I'm already I'm almost halfway through my 20s, which is just kind of like mind blowing to think, especially because the pandemic like cut off 3 years of my life. It's just crazy to think that. But yeah, I had an interesting birthday. Honestly, Friday was like not as good. Like, I didn't really go out on my birthday. I was surprised. Like, all my friends were busy. And I ended up going out for dinner with my mom, but that's about it. But then on Saturday though, luckily I was able to go out with a few of my buddies. We went to actually go to the movies because that's like one of my favorite things to do. And I actually saw Elvis, which was actually like, it's a really good movie. I'm like a huge music head. Like, I love music and stuff. And the Elvis movie was like really, really good. It's like a biopic of Elvis Presley. Obviously, it's basically like the Straight Outta Compton movie and the Queen movie. I don't know if you saw those. But yeah, the Elvis movie was like actually pretty good. It was like Austin Butler plays a really good Elvis, like a really convincing Elvis. And I thought like you got to really learn more about Elvis in the movie. Like, I learned more about who he was as a person. And like I learned a lot, kind of like the dark history behind like his like management stuff. So it was like a really, really interesting story. I don't know if it's my favorite movie of the year, but it's definitely up there. It was just a really good movie. And then yeah, the rest of the week is basically just the content creation grind. That's how a lot of my weeks go. Every day I wake up, I make a video, and I try to stream as much as I can too. And that's basically just how my week went, I would say.
And that's something I definitely want to get into later, is talking about the whole content creation thing. And I kind of want to hear your schedule. Like, I want to hear about all of that. So
I think it's time now we can get into kind of the meat of the podcast today. So as the first episode, I thought the best topic to maybe start things off with is just kind of talk about ourselves. Me and Lindsay are both content creators within the community. And I've been doing videos for a very, very long time. Lindsay has been in it for like barely like not even a year yet. So I think we both have. I was going to
say, with the content creation side, like in terms of like what we're talking about, I've been in it for only like 2 months or so. So like we're going like years to months different. Yeah. All sorts of views on it. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited too to kind of hear about Lindsay's story some more. And then yeah, you want to start things off here, Lindsay? So tell me a little bit about like what got you into making content in PTCGO.
I always love telling the story because it's so strange to think about, especially with how much my life has changed in the last how much my life has changed in the last 6 months. It's crazy. But we started off in December. I was working in the hospital at the time, and I got COVID at the beginning of December. And back then, it wasn't the same as it is now, where workers get, I think at my job now, you get 5 days off from when you test positive, or as long as like you don't have symptoms or something, whatever it is. But back then it was like, you can't come to work for 2 weeks. So I was off work for 2 weeks, and I had never had COVID. I had never quarantined. I lived by myself. I was like, I always kind of wanted to stream Pokemon. I always wanted to learn how to play the card game. And I was like, well, what else am I going to do for 2 weeks quarantined in my little tiny studio apartment other than learn Pokemon the card game? And that is what I did.
I think it's kind of crazy that like you've kind of become I think you've become like a decently large figure within the community in like such a short time span. I think it's amazing and awesome to see that for sure.
Yeah, thank you. It's just so crazy to think about. It's definitely weird, but
yeah, it's crazy. Do you want to explain the story of maybe like how you got into the Shuffle Squad actually too?
After I was streaming for a little bit, I can't even remember what I was doing. I think I was just like streaming a tournament or something. And after a tournament, I had gotten added to a Discord group with a bunch of people. Basically, that included like PJ, Zach, Gabe, kind of all the Shuffle Squad people. I just kind of got like thrown in there with some people, and basically PJ reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in joining the Shuffle Squad. And I was like, what? It all happened very quickly. I'm really enjoying where I'm at. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's awesome to see. So do you have any kind of on your come up? I would say because you, for the most part, I think you started off streaming mostly, right? Before like you kind of started doing like a few YouTube videos for like the Shovel Squad and stuff. You were mostly like a Twitch streamer.
Right,
You would call yourself,
exactly.
yeah, not so much a YouTuber, more a Twitch streamer, right? So, do you have like any favorite deck from like your early days of streaming on Twitch? Like any favorite deck you had that you brought to like online tournaments or whatever, and like a deck that you maybe like did well with?
Jolteon. Jolteon
Pokemon.
VMAX. I miss it so much, but it's just we all know. We all know. We don't need to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
there.
Yeah, Jolteon unfortunately has fallen off pretty hard. Even though like the best Pokemon in the format is weak to lightning, it's unfortunate to see Jolteon just is no longer
I
the
know.
top tier deck. It's crazy.
It
Maybe it
really
could. Maybe like
is.
somebody will come up with like a really interesting Jolteon list that isn't like the normal like Inteleon engine that we've been used to, and maybe there's like another way to make Jolteon work that isn't using Inteleon, and maybe that's just the better way to play it because I think that it has to be able. It's got to be decent right now, right? It can beat Palkia, and I think it probably can beat a few other decks too. It might struggle against like Arceus, Duraludon, and the Mewtwo Miltank deck, but there's got to be some way to make Jolteon still thrive in the meta. I mean, Lightning Pokemon is just good to be a Lightning type right now, right? So who knows?
Yeah. I know my story is a little kind of basically short winded. I know yours is a lot
Hmm.
more in depth since you've been doing it a lot longer and you kind of had all this time to get to the success to where you are. So I want to ask the golden question. LDF, how did you get into content creating? What put us here now doing this?
Sounds good. So I'm probably just gonna give y'all the full story. I got a long origin story of what got me into YouTube, what got me into PDCGO, and what kind of gets me going through the day. And I can like talk about my schedule, like my day-to-day routine, and what even got me to the Shuffle Squad too. I'm sure people will be interested to hear about that too, and all that good stuff. So I started uploading YouTube videos. Actually, I created my YouTube channel on July 20th, 2013. So it's 9 years old. It turned 9 years old this year. But
Happy
I didn't,
birthday to
yeah,
you.
almost a decade old. It's almost 10. But yeah, so I created my channel 9 years ago. And I've already had the name Little Dark Fury up to that point. That was actually my first channel name was Little Dark Fury. I actually do have another YouTube channel that I first made. I think that was even older, like maybe like earlier in the year. But I just forgot the password to that account, so I can't get on it. So I made this
So
new
it's still
account.
up.
Yeah, the video you can actually still find it. If you can
Oh,
dig hard enough, you might be able to find the video. It's like a young me. It's actually where the LDF Pog emote comes from. That emote I have on Twitch where I'm doing the Pog face. That's where that comes from. It comes from that video. So if
oh my
anyone can
God.
actually,
Do we need to like give a
yep,
prize to the first person to find it? First
we
person to
actually
post it on
should. Yep,
Twitter.
yep.
All right, first person to post it on Twitter. Hashtag ShufflePod Discovery Challenge.
Yep. If anyone can find that first ever Little Dark Fury video where the origin of the LDF Pog face, then you'll win a cookie.
Yeah, so 9 years ago on YouTube. That's pretty insane.
It is crazy, yeah. Like I've been watching YouTube for a very long time, and I'll talk about kind of like where I got the name Little Dark Fury from because I've had Little Dark Fury as my name before I made my channel. So basically, it was in I think it was in the winter of 2012. A young Little Dark Fury got his very first ever Xbox 360 for Christmas, and I also got Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which is going to play a big role in the story of my content creation career. But I got my first Xbox, which was kind of like my big first major like gaming console. I never owned the original Xbox. I never owned a PS2 or a PS1. I was mostly just kind of a gamer. Like I had a DS and that's about it. I played a lot of Pokemon back in the day. That was my main game. In fact, actually, fun fact about that, actually, I was such a hardcore Pokemon gamer that one time when I went to Italy in 2007, I got in a lot of flack with my family when I got back home because they said I was playing my DS too much, like on the entire trip. I was too addicted to my DS back in the day.
There's like
So
a
I was
picture of a young LDF in front of like
Mhm.
the Tower of Pisa. That's in Italy, right? Tower of
Yeah,
Pisa,
Tower of Pisa, yeah.
holding his DS.
Yeah. I vividly remember on the ride back from Rome, I think it was like to Rome to the airport, or like it was somewhere from like where I like my family is that I have down there. I vividly remember the car ride there. I was battling Saturn after he blew up Lake Valor. I just have that vivid memory of being in the car playing Pokemon Diamond, I think it was at the time. I don't think Platinum was out yet. I was playing Diamond at the time, and I vividly remember battling Saturn's Toxicroak in Lake Valor. Like that's just a vivid memory I have.
Just
But I've been a
seared in
yeah,
there.
yep. I've been a hardcore gamer for a very long time. And yeah, then I got my first ever Xbox in December of 2012. But of course, when you get an Xbox, you need to make a gamer tag. Sometimes they generate one for you, but most of the time they're pretty silly. Well, one of my friends, Craig, shout out to Craig for coming up with the name. I mean, hey, one day if I become big enough, man, I might have to give you the rights to the copyright because you're the one who came with the idea of the name, Littledarkfury. So he's like, what if you make your name Littledarkfury? I don't think there was like a reason for what he came up with that. He just was like, hey, Littledarkfury should be your name. I'm like, okay. So that's what we went with.
Craig?
Yeah, that's what I just stuck with for all this time. And that was like, so it was December of 2012 when I first started. And then it would have been in literally not even a year later, I created my YouTube channel, right? So that's just kind of how it went. But yeah, so I started off playing Xbox, and the main game I played a lot was Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which to this day is still probably my favorite game of all time. Sorry, PDCGO. I'm sorry. It's just Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Like when that game was in its prime, man, it was a glorious day. That game brings me nostalgia. But Black Ops 2 plays a very big role in how I started YouTube. So I didn't start playing PTCGO until I would say 2014. I think late 2014 is when I started getting into PTCGO. But I have been playing the Pokemon trading card game longer than that. Before
that was going to be my question.
Yeah. I've been playing the Pokemon trading card game for quite a while beforehand, obviously. Like at the time when I got my Xbox, I was like, I still played the game at my league and stuff. And I've been playing since I think early 2011, late 2010, since like the Diamond and Pearl era. I think I started playing around the time of like, I think it was like Rising Rivals releasing or something. It's a while, or it might have been Heart Gold Soul Silver base set actually. But yeah, I started playing around that time. And then in 2013, this was when Plasma Freeze came out. I ended up moving away from pretty far away from my local league, and I was farther away from the people that would take me to my local league at the time. So I just stopped playing the game for, I would say, probably about a year and a half until I got into PDCGO, I would say. So about a year and a half, I stopped playing the card game in general. I didn't play IRL actually for an even longer break, but just stopped playing the game itself for like about a year and a half. And so I started my YouTube channel off posting Call of Duty content. And that's why Black Ops 2 plays such a big role, is because I don't think I would have been making YouTube videos. I would not have had that drive and passion had it not been for Call of Duty Black Ops 2, being kind of the sole reason why I got into it. My first ever main inspiration for YouTube is the YouTuber known as Ali A. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
Yeah, he's a British YouTuber. He's pretty famous nowadays for his like Fortnite videos, but he was at the time the biggest Call of Duty YouTube channel in 2013. He was the guy, and his videos is what got me into wanting to make my own YouTube videos. So in 2013, I tried making Call of Duty videos. Obviously, I did not have a capture card. I could not record my Xbox screen. So what I did instead is I took a stool in my room, and then I put a pillow wall on it, and then I had my phone recording my TV screen while I played, and I'd have to stand up while I played. It was the most like ghetto setup ever.
Oh my gosh.
It was so bad. And obviously it meant that my channel went nowhere. Like I never grew. I maybe in total in that whole time I probably gained like 20 subscribers. And that was probably just people I knew from school and stuff, and all my actual like personal friends, which is hilarious.
So do you think that like some equipment upgrades like helped with that? Or like what do you think like?
It definitely did, because I think at the time when I was doing those videos, I don't think I had I don't think I had a computer at the time. Because I recorded the videos on my phone and then I uploaded them from my phone. So I don't think I got a computer until later in 2014. I think it was like mid 2014 is when I got my first computer. I think might have been my grandpa's computer that he gave me before he moved away. So I think that's probably what that was. But yeah, at the time I didn't have a computer. So when I finally got a computer, this is what actually got me into PDCGO. At the time during that little phase, I wasn't keeping up with the Pokemon trading card game at all. And then I got a computer, and then I found out about PDCGO, which I think I knew about before, but I didn't really like give a second thought to it, because at the time PDCGO was like a web browser. But I got back into the Pokemon trading card game through PDCGO. The thing is, though, I did not bother playing the game IRL. I still was far away from the people that would take me to places, and I didn't really keep in touch with a lot of the people that I actually knew from my old league days, which is kind of insane. There's only one person nowadays that I still am good friends with who plays the game, and I still play with. He's actually the person I went to NEIC with. The guy in the crutches with the flappy deck? He's the person that actually I've known for almost a decade now from my old days, back when I used to play the Pokemon trading card game back in like 2012, 2013. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, and then like most of the people from that era I don't even know, or like I don't even talk to anymore. They don't even play the game anymore, which is just wild. So this is one person that is still pretty into the game. But yeah, throughout that whole time of making videos, I didn't play the game, and then I got on PDCGO, and the first person that got me into making videos was Puka, the Top Cut Pokemon. Do you know who Puka is?
I do know who Puka is.
He is the godfather of the Pokemon trading card game. He's basically like the main man in the community, and he used to make Pokemon TCG online videos. He was at the time the biggest channel, and he's what inspired me to make my own videos. And obviously my content is rogue content. I don't post the meta decks or anything. And at the time when I first started YouTube, I was posting mostly rogue decks. Puka also posted a good mix of meta and rogue, but he had like a few series on his channel where it's like specifically he had to play like a rogue deck. He had like a series called Bad Deck Monday. And I took a lot of inspiration from that. There's another YouTuber that actually at the time I used to watch a lot too. There was a guy named Tyler, I think it was Tyler Place. Tyler Place is a very OG YouTuber. People listening to this pod may actually know who that is. He's a very OG PDCGO YouTuber. You think he's had like 15,000 subs on YouTube. He stopped playing PCGO in like 2015, 2014, but he was also very big at the time. So him, Puka, and Tyler were the people that kind of motivated me to start uploading videos. And I just always had this passion for creating content. Even though my channel was going nowhere when I was making the Call of Duty videos, I was still posting anyways, even though I knew the videos weren't going anywhere. I was posting Minecraft videos. I was posting Grand Theft Auto 5 videos. I knew the videos weren't going to do anything, but like I still, for whatever reason, was motivated to upload, even though I knew they were getting like two or three
And you got
views.
more comfortable with the process.
Exactly. That honestly may have helped because I've been for the most part, I've been trying to do the daily content for a very long time now. Especially when the pandemic hit, which I guess we'll talk about when we kind of get to that segment of the pod, or kind of my origin story, I should say. So yeah, Puka and Tyler kind of got me into it. And actually, Puka ended up quitting in 2015. He stopped uploading videos in 2015 because he got a job at Pokemon, and for whatever reason, he stopped uploading because he now works for Pokemon, and that was in 2015. And after kind of my main inspiration left, I was still motivated to make videos, but it was just kind of weird not having him in the community anymore. There's a few other channels. There was Team Fish Knuckles at the time who posted content. He was another bigger channel at the time. I know Kenny Wisdom actually was uploading videos too. His channel was On the Bubble. I used to watch him a lot. He got a shout out from Puka. I think there was another channel named A Blue Golf Ball. He was another really OG PDCGO YouTuber, but he also quit in 2015. However, I would say there is one other big YouTuber that plays a big role in my inspiration, and I think you've heard me mention his name quite a few times. His name is Yellow Swallow. Yellow Swallow really blew up in the Pokemon TCG online community in late 2015, early 2016. Yellow Swallow basically ran the Pokemon TCG online YouTube community for like 2016 to probably like late 2017, early 2018. He was another huge inspiration. He was basically also mostly a rogue deck channel, but since there wasn't like a huge big meta like YouTubers at the time, like we do have now, where like everybody's a meta YouTuber, there was not really that many of them back in the day. Not as big as Yellow Swallow anyways, because the other YouTuber was Dark Integral Gaming. So Yellow Swallow did like a mix of meta and competitive, and he was another massive inspiration for my content. And it's weird because another inspiration actually left YouTube. Of course, if you all know, in 2020, Yellow Swallow disappeared from YouTube. His channels, he deleted it, and he hasn't uploaded a video in 2 years, and he's just vanished from the community. And it just seems that like all the big YouTubers leave, and all my inspirations leave for whatever reason. But yeah,
now
I would say
the young LDF must become the inspiration.
Exactly. I'm carrying the torch left behind by Puka and Yellow Swallow and Dark Integral Gaming, I would say. And yeah, so he was an inspiration. Kind of like Yellow Swallow inspired me to keep making content, especially in that 2016, 2017 era, especially when I like transitioned from high school to college. I took a victory lap in high school in 2016, 2017 is when I did grade 13. And what got me through that also was Yellow Swallow, and then kind of transitioned into college, which was obviously when I had to like pull my socks up and stuff. And that was when I kind of got into like better equipment. So for the most part, I was making videos on like a laptop that really wasn't very good. The videos were like kind of low, it was very like frame rate was very low. The videos weren't super high quality. I was making my videos using Sony Vegas editing software, and I was still using OBS. So I still had like pretty decent software. It's just the laptop I was using was like pretty poor quality. And at the time, I didn't use a webcam. No YouTubers really used their webcam back in the day. Like webcams only became a thing, I think, the norm in the Pokemon TCGO community, I would say in like late 2017 is when every YouTuber started. Yeah. Because everyone used to just not use webcams. So I was like, I need to get a webcam too. And that actually came at a perfect time because going into college, in one of my programs I went into required me to have a MacBook for my program. And I still have it to this day. It's a 5-year-old computer. I still have it. I still use it all the time, actually, for my YouTube channel. And I was like, okay, this laptop I'm using is horrible. What about if I try making videos on my MacBook? And during the winter break of college in 2017 and 2018, I experimented with making videos on my MacBook, and long and behold, I could make videos in better quality, and it had a built-in webcam, which I used up until I actually got a better webcam. So it was the last.
You're using the MacBook webcam.
Yeah, honestly, it's not even that bad. Like, I actually had like decent lighting in my room at the time. My old room setup had like a pretty good like lighting angle, so I actually didn't really need like lighting equipment. But yeah, I used my MacBook for a while and it ran pretty smooth. I had Photoshop and Adobe Premiere on my MacBook because once again they were required for the program I was going into, and I found a way to actually keep them on my MacBook because you're supposed to like not have them after you like. Because I'm not in that program anymore. I actually wasn't a fan of it. I wasn't good at it, so I dropped out and went into human resources. So yeah, so I've been using my MacBook for a while, and then I think it was like during the pandemic is when I actually transitioned into getting a real computer. So the pandemic happened, and then obviously because I wasn't in school, I had a lot of spare time on my hands. And I think up until that point, other than during the summer, I think I was uploading 4 times a week. I would upload a video every other day, usually when I was in school, because my hours were all different. I had to get up at like 6 a.m. to go to class, or I had to get up at like noon to go to class. So the hours were all over the place. Some days I was able to like pre-record. For the most part, I think during that era, I tried to upload every other day to YouTube. And then, of course, the pandemic happened, and I had school online, which gave me a ton of free time because I could either just skip class or just do whatever while I was in class. And I had all this spare time in my hands. And that gave me a lot more time to upload daily. So during the start of the pandemic was when I really was like, all right, we're doing daily uploads. And then, yeah, the pandemic happened and I started doing the content daily. Obviously, when school finished, because the pandemic happened, like, I think like during like the last like little bit of my last semester in school. And then I kind of got into the daily uploads more. And obviously, because we couldn't go out anywhere, we couldn't do anything. I was inside the whole time playing video games and being on my computer a lot. So that just gave me more free time to make more videos. And throughout the pandemic is when I just kind of just grinded it out. And then I think it was Christmas is when I got my first actual like decent microphone, because I used everything on my MacBook. I had the built-in microphone on my MacBook, the webcam on my MacBook. And I think for Christmas, I got myself a better webcam. I think it was a C922, which I still have to this day right here, which I actually use for my faces in my thumbnails. And then I got a Blue Yeti Nano microphone. And that lasted me throughout most of the rest of the pandemic. And then in 2021, when I actually moved away, so my old house I moved out of in October of 2020, and then I moved into this house I'm currently in right now in 2021, and I had a lot more spare time to kind of do whatever I wanted, because in my old house, the old house I lived in was very, very small. I lived with my aunt and my mom, and it was a very, very small house. And I was not able to stream at night or make videos at night. I had to do it all in the afternoon or the morning when my mom was either at work or my aunt was busy or my aunt was not in her room, because the rooms are very close to each other. So it was hard to make videos. And I had people living in the basement who were also very loud. It was just really hard to like find time to make content. So moving into this house I am now gave me the opportunity to actually have to be able to stream more often, because I can stream at night. I can be as loud as I want. I don't have to be quiet and all that stuff, which is kind of weird to say, but it's something I had to get used to living in such a small house with my family, is that I had to get used to not being loud or making videos at night. Finally moved into this house, I was like, all right, you know what? We got to get ourselves an actual good gaming PC. And that's what I did at the beginning of 2021. I bought myself, because thankfully the pandemic was able to help me kind of make more money on YouTube. I got myself a gaming PC, which I still have to this day. It was like, I forget what it's called. It's a nice PC. I didn't need a super crazy PC because PDCGO does not require you to have a good PC. Like, you don't have to have like a super computer to run PDCGO. And I needed to get a PC, and that's when I got it. And then also in 2021, I was like, okay, we got to upgrade the equipment even more. So I bought myself this Sony A5100, and then I also got my Shure microphone. So I updated my quality of my content by a big milestone in 2021 by getting a new PC, a new camera, and a brand new microphone, which I still all use to this day. And then yeah, during the meat of the pandemic, I would say in 2021 is when I really transitioned into doing it full time, because I wasn't working during the pandemic. I didn't have anything else to do, right? So it's just like, okay, it's YouTube. And then I just made enough money to be like, okay, I can do this full time. And I think at the end of 2020 is when I got into streaming on Twitch, because I mainly stuck to YouTube, but I got into Twitch at the end of 2020. And I think now in the middle of 2022, it's nice to see how far I've come on Twitch, actually, only doing it for a little while. And then, now we're in 2022, and the content grind still goes on. I still do daily uploads. It's basically my full-time job, and I'm also getting into trying to play more IRL, because at the end of 2020 is when I got back in IRL. I said at the beginning of the story that I stopped playing IRL back in 2013, and I actually took a break from IRL play for 8 years. So I just got back in the end of 2021. I've been playing the card game for a while, but not the IRL portion of it. And kind of the dream and the goal is to just play more IRL. I have obviously a lot of free time in my hands to do most of the stuff because I'm a full-time content creator, and I have all this time to really do whatever I need to do. And I'm excited to kind of get into the IRL more. Something I did miss. And again, I have a few friends that I still know from way back in the day, which is just mind-blowing to me. But that is basically, that's basically the story of where I'm at. And the Shuffle Squad, actually, I guess let's talk about how I joined the Shuffle Squad. I joined the Shuffle Squad because I went out to a 2K in Waterloo with Zach Lesage and Michelle, and actually PJ and John were there. And I was already kind of in talks with most of the people from the Shuffle Squad for a little bit at that point, and that got me into kind of joining the team, because I already knew, I knew you at the time pretty well. I knew John, I knew PJ and stuff. And then, at that 2K, we all stayed at the same hotel together, and we were talking about the possibility of me joining the team. Something I thought was really cool was to join the team. I'm friends with most people on the team anyway, so it's not like I'm joining a team that I don't know anybody. I'm good friends with everybody. And then I'm like, I think I could offer a lot to the team. I can help it grow. I have a big following. I can help it grow. And we kind of worked that out, and here we are to this day. There we go.
I mean, I really do think that adding you to the team is what kind of sparked the change. I mean, I know PJ's had these plans for a really long time, just of all the stuff that we're doing now, but I really feel like adding you to the team just made the whole content creation side of it just cooler, bigger. It's we're going to be doing some really cool, fun stuff. It's just fun. It's crazy that we can do this for fun, and it can still be feasible. It can you can literally sustain your life on it.
Yeah, I'm excited for the future of the Shuffle Squad. And that's what that was part of the reason why I wanted to join was, hey, I can help push the team forward. And I think because of it, we've actually, in the short amount of time we've kind of I've been on the team. I've been on the team for I think only 3 months now, not even. And we're already doing all these big things. We're an esports team now. We have the big tournament coming up this weekend, the Tournament of Champions, which me and Lindsay will be casting the top cut on Saturday.
Ayo.
Yeah, we've been doing that. So it's kind of crazy to see how far we've come in this short time. And I'm grateful for what I've been able to do. And I'm grateful to be on the team. And I'm glad to be able to kind of help push it forward. And that's awesome.
Okay, so I have to ask. So you said that you were making your thumbnails on your webcam, on your MacBook. I feel like the world really wants to know how and what made you start putting your face on your thumbnails. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I got a lot.
You love the thumbnails.
Yeah, the face in the thumbnail. It's iconic. So that was something that I didn't do before. My old thumbnails, I used to just take 3 cards in a deck, and then I'd put them on the deck manager. I just took a screenshot of the deck manager on PCGO, and then I would blur the background as kind of the backdrop for the thumbnail, and then I would just take 3 cards featured in the deck, and then just put them side by side. And then I put the text on. That was my old thumbnail style. And it got me through a lot, throughout most of kind of my YouTube journey. It did well enough where it, grew my channel enough, especially during the pandemic when some of the bigger YouTubers who did what I did left, and I kind of filled in that void, and my channel started growing even more. But then I think it was mid 2021 is when, or was it? No, it was mid 2021 is when I really started to kind of take the face and thumbnail thing all the way. And I was experimenting with a few thumbnail styles before that. And I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't liking them. They weren't doing as well. I was like, do I really like these thumbnail styles I was doing? I used to take a spiral color background, and it just looked dumb, and I didn't like it. So I was like, what if I tried the face and thumbnail thing? And then my first video that I did on that did really, really well. And at the time, I just put on a red t-shirt and then just took a bunch of pictures on my webcam, which I use for my faces. I use my camera for this, and then I use the webcam for the faces, because the webcam picks up better lighting than my actual camera gets. So it looks better for whatever reason on my webcam than my camera when I take a picture for my thumbnail. And it looks more natural, I would say. So yeah, I put on a red shirt and I just took a bunch of pictures at once. I was like, okay, well, here we go, use these. And then I kept uploading videos. And for the first little bit, it was doing well enough. I ranked all the GXs or something. That video did well. And then the first couple videos of using my face did well. And then I slowly started to transition into a different kind of take on it, because I still like kept my old thumbnail style the same. I had 3 cards featured in the deck and then my face. So I kind of combined the two together. And then I think at the time there was other YouTubers. I know Azul and the Sableye were doing the face and the thumbnail at the time. The Sableye especially was kind of like the one who, I think, shout out to Mitch, he's the one who really like catapulted the face and thumbnail thing to like new heights in the community. I think he popped off with that. And I kind of was like, okay, if Mitch is doing it well, we definitely got to get into it. And then I stopped doing the 3 card thing. And then I just took 1 card in the deck and then just put that to the side of the background. I still use the deck manager to this day as kind of my backdrop. And then I just take a card in the deck and then just put that to the side. I enlarge it, make it big actually, and then I put my face beside it, and I enlarge my face, and I just make it look really nice. I try to take inspiration from like other YouTubers like Mr. Beast and stuff, how they do their thumbnails, and a lot of gaming YouTubers actually, if you literally go to like the gaming trending tab on YouTube, like all the thumbnails is like people's face in it. And I kind of took inspiration from those ideas, kind of like was like, okay, how do we incorporate that into this type of thumbnail? And my thumbnails, I kind of make a little similar to like what Yellow Swellow did. Yellow Swellow is a big inspiration for me. He's gone. He doesn't make videos anymore. His channel's gone. And his thumbnail style used to be like he would just take 1 card in the deck and enlarge it on PTCGO, and then he would take a picture of a Pokemon, enlarge that beside it. So I'm kind of doing something similar where I take the card in the deck, enlarge it, and then I just put my face instead of a picture of a Pokemon, and then put my face beside the card. And I've been doing that ever since, and it's been amazing and seeing the growth. And I know people can find it kind of cringy or kind of silly looking, and I know I do get a lot of criticism for it. I see comments sometimes all over the place about my face and thumbnails, but you know what? It works, and it's kind of like it's
you're watching the video.
Exactly. You're clicking on the video, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Oh no, but seriously, it's like it's actually
all
like
that matters.
It's all that matters. But it is true. It's like, you know, it's
the haters are shaking.
Yeah. It's the trend right now on YouTube. I would say it's most people who do YouTube have their face in their thumbnail. Mr. Beast, the most successful YouTuber on the planet right now, is very much a face and thumbnail YouTuber. Most gaming YouTubers, most Fortnite YouTubers, Call of Duty YouTubers, Roblox YouTubers, Minecraft YouTubers, whatever popular games are out there right now, GTA, Call of Duty, whatever, they all put their face in their thumbnail. It's like a very popular trend right now. And if anything, I am kind of just hopping on a trend that's really popular within the community.
I can't wait to see this thumbnail.
Yep. I'm sure we'll be putting the face and thumbnail in the podcast too to, give that a little bit of LDF spice in it, you know? So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think something that we should maybe touch on is just like, how can we help others like feel like confident enough, feel like that they can essentially achieve what they want to achieve in this whole aspect of the content creation? Because I feel like so many people get so into it mentally. So like I kind of want to go into like the mental health aspect of it. Like do you ever feel like you're not wanting to do the daily videos because you feel like if any negativity gets to you, or like I think it's important to touch on this. We can talk about our feelings here. We're a feelings friendly cast.
I'm definitely down. That's a really good question actually. I as somebody who is like a larger figure in the community, I deal with a lot of trolls and a lot of haters. A lot of trolls and a lot of haters. I know there's a big meme in my community. Of course, the legend himself, Samuel
the one and only Samuel Simcoe, if you're listening.
Comments on all of my videos, just trolling me. It's the best thing ever. Honestly, and that's one thing I actually can give advice to people who may get like hate comments or trolls on their videos as a smaller content creator, whether you are doing PCGO or any other game or any other type of content. With Samuel Simcoe as an example, at first I thought his comments were like really like it did kind of get to me a little bit. At that point I kind of learned to not let the hate get to you, but his comments were just so frequent. He said some pretty dumb things, and it did get to me. But eventually, I think taking Samuel Simcoe's example, taking that troll, turn it into part of your channel, turn it into gold is something that I've personally adapted. Gold. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's other trolls I get too. There's people that say dumb things. I just block them. But like, if you get a troll like Samuel Simcoe, I mean, I don't even know if this is like, good to do, but I mean, sometimes taking an infamous troll is, especially if it's someone like Samuel Simcoe, where it's like, they're not really speaking in like, their English is very broken and they're just like trolling to probably just get a reaction out of you. Either block the troll or turn it to gold, like with what I did. And I have to deal with a lot of like crazy things on PCGO all the time. I mean, I get friend requests all the time. I get messages a lot. I get, there's people with fake Littledarkfury accounts on PTCGO. It's crazy. Like, it's something that, I have to deal with a lot. And I think as I kind of grew as a content creator, I just kind of learned to just avoid as many trolls and hate comments as I could. Because I did get a lot of hate back in the day. And I just kind of learned to just like not worry about it, not deal with it. That's kind of the best way. And then obviously I took the Samuel Simku idea and just turned it into kind of part like a meme on the channel. Basically, it's part of my channel's personality.
And you can laugh about it too. Like it's something you can laugh about. Because his comments, like the way we talk about it, is they're funny. They're funny comments.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something that like it's something that's probably intentionally to be hurtful. Which it's people, if you're spending your time like sending hate on the internet to people, don't, like, come on, whatever, you know. All love here.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like getting hate comments on YouTube, you just kind of have to like just ignore them and just don't get mad at them. Don't give a reaction to them first of all, but just don't get mad at them. It's just people on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you probably will never meet them in your life. You know, you don't know who they are. Like, just ignore it. You know what I mean? It's probably the best advice I can give because I've had to deal with a lot of trolls and a lot of hate over the years of being a content creator. And as a person in the community who makes rogue decks every day, there's quite literally a Discord server out there where like I'm pretty sure most of the members in there do not like me. The higher ups in that Discord server do not like me. I'm always seeing what they're saying about me every single day. But it's just honestly just learn to just either avoid the hate or just kind of laugh it off, right? Never let the hate get to you. Never let the hate get to you because I mean, you're at the end of the day, I think you're always going to get more support than hate, in my opinion. That's the way I look
absolutely.
at it.
Absolutely. And it's hard to, you know,
it's hard to avoid it. It's hard to ignore it for sure.
Yeah. But good feelings talk. It's important. I think it should be talked about and discussed. So thank you for sharing some of your input on that.
Yeah, no worries. I think actually on the topic of mental discussion, I guess we can quickly talk about like kind of the content creation grind thing. But yeah, being a content creator, I've always seen people kind of go in and out of phases of wanting to make videos. I know it can be a bit of a struggle to make YouTube videos, especially every day, or even try to keep up with the quality of your content and coming up with new ideas.
Yeah, I was going to say it's hard to be creative every day like that. It is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like as a rogue deck builder, I mean, I have to come up with a new deck every single day, and I have to make sure that I know the deck is going to be good. Like, I don't just like build a deck, be like, okay, here you go, this is my deck, here's my video. Like, I actually got to make sure the deck will do good on YouTube, people will want to watch it, and that the deck is actually like good where it can actually win games. And I know like other people in different genres of content have to deal with this, like people who do like really anything on YouTube have to deal with kind of like content burnout or writer's block or whatever. I would definitely say like taking mental health breaks, taking like a week or two off of YouTube, taking a break from making videos, or even making videos ahead of time and then taking like a bit of a time off. You can do that and take mental health breaks. I think it is very important to take mental health breaks as a content creator.
Right. And it's hard to even think about that sometimes because sometimes people can feel like if you take a break, I know I can think like this sometimes, oh, if I take a break, then when I come back, I'm not going to have as many people there, like, you know, ready to watch my stuff because I took a break and I haven't been posting, I haven't been streaming, I haven't been doing this. So it's kind of hard to get out of that rut once you're in there.
Yeah, it's something that I've dealt with a few times. I mean, I think it's crazy that like I don't experience much burnout anymore. It's kind of crazy. Like, I haven't experienced burnout, especially throughout the pandemic. I haven't really experienced burnout. But before the pandemic, I had some times where I'm like, do I really want to play PCGO today? Do I really want to click record? I think the biggest kind of burnout I usually get is not with YouTube per se. It's more with actually streaming. I have a lot of days where like I'm like, I can stream right now. Nobody's streaming. I can probably, you know, get viewers. I can grow my channel. But like, do I really want to go click live for like 3-4 hours? Do I have the energy? Do I have the motivation to do that? That's my takeaway is like, I get burnout from streaming quite often.
I'm the exact opposite. I feel like streaming for me is so much easier. And then like the YouTube video, maybe because I'm more uncomfortable with making YouTube videos and I'm comfortable with streaming. So that's what I started with. So I wonder if it's kind of the same for you then.
Yeah.
Because I know you just more so recently started streaming, right?
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Yeah,
more often. I mean,
yeah, no, yeah, it's true. I think that's probably what it is because I've been doing YouTube more than I did streaming, so I'm more used to doing the YouTube stuff. Like I'm used to like waking up every day making a video. Like I wake up every day, go downstairs, make a coffee, come back upstairs, record my video, put it together, edit it, and then boom, I got the day to myself. Unless I got to do like another video for like the Shovel Squad or I got to do a collab with somebody else. But that's basically how my day goes. And actually getting into a schedule is very important for your mental health too, I think, as a YouTuber. Actually, if you get yourself into a schedule and kind of a mindset when making videos, it actually is better for your mental health and also better so you don't get burnt out as much, I would say. And
start with less, right? Like you don't need to like if you LDF, did you start day one making videos every single day?
No.
No. So start with, I don't know, maybe like what, 2 days a week? Maybe if you can handle that, do 3 days a week. Like, I feel like I really dove into it so hard in the beginning that I caused burnout in myself because I just dove into it. Like I went like full force, and I didn't try to like set it up. I wasn't like as organized as with making a schedule. Like, oh, I should spend these days, you know, working on the stream part of it and like do this and that. And I feel like that's really important for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is important to kind of get into a schedule or just get into a mindset and do it. Because I didn't start making videos daily until the pandemic, right? And I was usually, it was only in the summers when I did the daily uploads, but during school, so I didn't like get my, I didn't like get burnt out, or I didn't have to like, doing videos interrupted my, schoolwork or whatever. I always just like did videos every other day or a few times a week usually.
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel a really big difference once you can get that schedule going and it just becomes more comfortable. And then like once you hit those milestones, you get that little endorphin boost of like, yay, I did all my streaming this week, and like, yay, I did this. And I was definitely struggling with that for a little bit. I actually, PJ remembers I had to take like 3 or 4 weeks off of making YouTube videos because I was like, hey, I can't do it. Like I work every single day, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, sometimes on a weekend day, as like an oncology nurse. It's really mentally and emotionally exhausting. And I was making those YouTube videos and I wasn't organized about it. I didn't have like my set day to do the recording and the day to do the editing. Like I just tried to get it done when I could. And a good quote that I heard from a while ago is that if you don't give if you don't give your body the chance to take a break, it will take one for you, and most likely at the most inconvenient times.
Yeah, that is a good quote. And I know, yeah, especially with you, especially like there are people out there that do have jobs that are mentally draining and physically exhausting, and that can play a big role in kind of how you can create your content. Because if you come home from a long day at work and you are tired or like emotionally drained, then it can actually, play a big role. And I definitely do think that's a good plan for being a content creator. If you have trying to balance, a job that can be like that, and then also content creation.
Right. And you have to set those priorities. And I'm actually really glad we're talking about it, because I feel like no one really actually talks about that side of it, where you have to actually make that decision where, hey, am I going to like really like grind, and my life might be like a little hectic and suck for maybe like a month, but like I know it's going to have a good reward, or just you really got to make that decision of like what kind of priorities you want to make, and just take a chance. Like if you want to do it, hop into it. If you don't, not yet. Like
just take it slow, take it easy.
Go with the flow, guys. Like just
exactly,
no need to stress about it.
Yeah, that was kind of me too. Like I've always had those kind of things before I kind of blew up and really started doing it daily, and they became like my actual like job. Is when YouTube was not my job, right? I was like, do I really want to make a video today? And especially when the game wasn't as slower, but we didn't get as many new cards. Obviously, when you have more new cards, it's easier to make more decks and more videos and come up with new ideas. And yeah, that definitely is a big deal.
Oh my gosh, LDF, we need to go back into what we were talking about at the beginning. Hit or no hit?
Yeah, hit or no hit.
It's kind of time to show them,
It definitely is.
All right. So there could be a new segment that we talked about. It's going to be at the end of the podcast, kind of game show style. Hit or no hit. It's going to be, the energy for your week, We're going to have Nicole, who is a new member of the Shuffle Squad, going to be having a little pack opening video. And is she going to get a hit, or is it going to be a no hit? We won't even find out till the podcast comes out.
We're not gonna know. I think we guessed earlier in the episode. Yeah, we guessed it's a hit. It's definitely gonna be a hit. It's gotta be.
It's gonna be a hit. Hashtag hit.
Good luck. Yep. Hashtag hit. First podcast. Good luck.
Welcome, Shuffle Squad podcast listeners. My name is Nick, or it's Nepa, and what we're going to do is we're going to play a little game called Hit or No Hit. I'm currently opening the Pokemon Go set. We have an ETB. This is pack number 2. I opened pack number 1 off camera. It was nothing good. So I just organized that we have all of these. We're going to start with the energy, go from commons to uncommons, reverse and then rare, and we're going to decide, is it a hit or is it not a hit? So we're going to start out with this little bad boy. Got a nice little fire energy going for us. You know, I feel like that's good karma. Like fire energy, it can't be bad, right? All right, I'm going to a Meltan. We love the Pokemon Go exclusives. Charmander, he's such a cute boy. It's actually my first TCG card, so one of my favorites. Apom, we love to see him. Bulbasaur, such a cutie. Oops, sorry, that was my bad. But we're going from P-Dove into little Ivysaur. Sorry, my little hands got a little eager going to the draft packs, but I love to see it. Wartortle, got those stage ones on lock. We're in the uncommons. Let's see how we're going. I think we have Blanche, maybe one more uncommon. See what happens. Okay. Oh, well, you know, I don't even think we have to see the rare to know that this pack is in fact a hit. This is my first Radiant. Okay, and an Articuno, one of my favorites. Okay, so happy to be here. I don't know what you guys guessed, but I hope you guessed hit, because are you kidding me? This is great condition. Actually, all things considered, even like the centering, everything on this boy is absolutely to die for. He is a great guy. We love to see it. Again, 1 of 8 in our ATB. This is incredible. Well, thank you so much for having me. I hope you all picked hit, and can't wait to see you guys next week and see what we do next. Bye.
I think that this might be a wrap for our first podcast, the Shuffle Pod. What are we calling it? The Shuffle Pod.
The Shuffle Pod, yeah. We'll call it the Shuffle Pod.
Shuffle Pod.
Yeah, that'll be it for the first episode of the Shuffle Pod here today. I hope you all enjoyed this first episode. Of course, leave any feedback on what you thought of the pod. How can we improve the podcast? How can we improve the quality or whatever? We definitely let us know. We definitely got to know about all that so we know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and just how we can improve on those little things.
Yeah. We would love any feedback, of course. And I don't want to say goodbye. I like
know.
this. This is fun.
It was fun to talk. I enjoyed giving the backstory of how I got into YouTube and kind of my YouTube journey from the beginning to where we are now.
Yeah. So we'll be excited to do some more in the future. These will be, coming out on a weekly basis. This is something that we're gonna start spending our time doing. So this is gonna stick around for a while. I'm really, really excited for it.
Yep.
Not to get all emotional on you guys. I'm just so excited to start this journey together.
Same. And as per next week, we were going to get into more of like the competitive stuff, talking about decks and stuff. We just wanted to kind of have the first episode just be kind of like just us introducing who we are, talking about our journey and stuff. But yeah, definitely this podcast will be talking a lot about, competitive decks. We have people on our team who are going to Worlds. Of course, we can have insight from pro players on the podcast too. So I'm excited for the future of it for sure.
Mm-hmm. And next week we're going to be talking about Worlds, PTCG Worlds in London.
Yeah, Worlds is right around the corner. I know. Worlds is right around the corner, and it'll be perfect to talk about our predictions for Worlds, what decks could be good, and if there's any like rogues or anything. So I'm excited. I'm excited for next week's episode.
All right. So until next time, peace out, everybody.
See ya.